Hello everyone, welcome to our channel today. I'm Dr. Hu from South Africa. In this video, we're going to talk about more in detail about the military science in Chinese medicine. As we can see from our curriculum actually, no matter in China or in overseas countries for Chinese medicine training, the basic theories, the theories we use is not very thick books, which means the theories is very brief. There's not a lot of theories we use. We use the philosophies, the yin and yang, the Asian philosophies, we apply to our health. We use these theories to analyze our human health. The theories are very brief, but as you study more, the more you think about, the more interesting it will be. The reason why is these theories actually you can apply to other fields, or you can import the other fields from other fields into Chinese medicine, because these are common laws in the nature. So today we're going to discuss more about the military science, how to use some of the military science in Chinese medicine. In military science, there's some laws in the war. One of the law is the speed. During the war, speed is very important. If there's a war tomorrow, speed is very important. The reason why is you don't wait for a few days, or you don't wait until your enemy come to you to fight, and then you will lose the war. So speed, information, technology is very important for any kind of war, no matter in the past or nowadays. Speed. Same as our treatment, speed is very important. What does it mean? Speed is very important. For instance, if some patient, there's one patient got pneumonia, the patient have got high fever, 39 degrees. And in this kind of treatment, what kind of herbal medicine, what kind of treatment we're going to apply to the patient? What kind of way of thinking we need to apply? How severe the condition was. Do we use more gentle herbs to improve the immune system to benefit the body, or we need to use strong herbs to reduce the fever as quick as we can? These are something similar to the war. Your healthy qi in this condition, in this situation, the healthy qi of the patient is fighting with the enemy, with the pathogens such as the virus or bacteria, no matter what kind of pathogens. The healthy qi is fighting with the pathogens, especially in severe condition. In emergency cases, speed is very important. You need to reduce the fever. You need to reduce the body temperature as quick as you can. How to reduce the body temperature? Then that's the other way you need to think. You need to use you need to use the other methods you can apply to this patient. So, but the way of thinking, the law is to reduce the fever as quick as you can. So that's something similar to the war. And also during the war, you need to know your enemy. The more the better. If you don't even know your enemy? How do you fight with them? There's a very interesting examples in the past. In 19th century, the China, the old China, when the Western invaded China in 19th century, the Chinese at that time, they've never seen foreigners. So they never seen the people with golden hair, with blue eyes, the foreigners. So some of the Chinese think that those foreigners, those invaders, they were not human beings, they were ghosts. So in order to fight with the ghost, you need to use spiritual methods to fight with ghosts. But obviously, you can see from the history, the Chinese lose the war badly. The reason why, there's a very typical examples here, because you don't know the enemy, you don't know who you were fighting in a war. So it's very important to know the enemy. If you know your enemy, if you know they got what kind of weapons, it's much easier for you to prepare to fight. Same as our human health. A pathogen affects our health, and then we need to know the nature of the pathogen, the characteristics of the pathogen. It's either heat or cold, yin or yang. If it's a hot condition, we can use some cold herbs. We can use some cold acupuncture points which can relieve the heat. So to know the enemy, to know the pathogen, it's very important. This is very important in Chinese medicine treatments. Also, it's very important in the war. There's another example there is, if you go to the questions we asked in the previous video, why the stomach, the digestive system is so important in our health. In the war, if your army, tens of thousands of soldiers move from one place to the other place, the transportation is important. Apart from transportation, what other aspects is very important? The food supply. So the food supply is essential for any kind of war, either in the past or now. Food supply is very important. So if you have the chance to watch some videos, especially for the war in the past, during the fighting, during the war, what they do is from one army to their enemy, they will send one spy to the other army. They're going to burn their grains, burn the rice, burn the wheat, to damage the food. Then the army, they will be chaos because there's no food for your enemy. This kind of law in military science is a kind of method to fight your enemy. On the other hand, we can see food supply is very important, either for your enemy or for yourself. So that's why it's so important in our human health. When your healthy qi and the pathogen is fighting, your digestive system is very important. Because your food supply, your nutritional supply is from there. If your healthy qi have no new nutrition supply, they're going to lose the war. The condition become worse and worse. That's why we need to protect our digestive system in the war, in the treatments. This is another example we're going to discuss here. The last example here is you can see from the picture. So this picture, this is a map of 3 kingdoms. There's one here, one here, one here. So the 3 kingdoms, this boundary is it's about 2,000 years ago in the war state period in China. In China at that time, the whole China, the boundary was consisted of 7 different kingdoms, 7 different states. So these were the 3 of them. These 3 kingdoms. There was one war. The one Zhao Kingdom, Wei Kingdom. They fight with each other. So as you can see the size, Zhao and Wei. Zhao is the big country, the big states. This Wei was smaller, and Qi is another country, another state. When they fight together, Zhao country, the kingdom, is losing the war. So he was losing the war, and then he needs someone to help him. So the Zhao state asked the help from Qi states, but the Qi states didn't send army to Zhao states and fight with the Wei directly. What the king in the Qi states do, Qi sends another army to fight with the Wei directly, and then the war between Wei and Zhao. The Wei will withdraw the army from here to fight with the Qi. It's quite complicated. A country fights with B country, and then the C country want to help country A, but C country doesn't send army to country A. C army fights with B country. In this condition, in this situation, the B country need to withdraw some of their force back to the country, which on the other hand will help the help to reduce the force fighting with the country A. So this is a very famous story in China actually. Do we use any kinds of similar treatments when we see patients? There's another patient with fever, but this patient got the fever, got high-grade fever, got the aversion to colds, sore throats, so coughing, runny nose. This patient got a lot of symptoms from the lung, from the inflammation, for the pneumonia of the lung. On the other hand, the patient have another symptoms of constipation. So in this kind of treatments, what can we do? Sometimes, especially for the patient with fever, with constipation, I will treat the lung directly. We use some herbal medicine to treat the lung directly. On the other hand, I also use some herbs to focus on the constipation. We need to cause diarrhea. We need to remove the stool in the intestine. In this condition, the fever might be reduced. So something from the lung, something from intestine. The herbal medicine is helping the intestine, but remember this patient is pneumonia. This patient got the fever from the lung, but our treatments, sometimes we focus on the intestine. We're going to reduce the stool in the intestine to reduce the heat there. Then the heat in the lung going to be reduced. So this way of thinking is very similar to the wall here. The lung, the intestine. The main complaint is from the lung, and the patient have problem with the intestine. But when you use your treatments to help the lung, you also can treat the intestine directly. Then the lung going to be helped. So that's another example for military science in Chinese medicine. Also, there's the other examples especially in formulas, in prescriptions. We can discuss in future videos, or also we can discuss when we study about the prescriptions. Thank you for watching our video today. For more information, you can visit our website. See you next time.